Why are you a Rotarian? Have you asked your friends to join Rotary? And if yes, what have you told them about Rotary? In the 8 episodes of this membership podcast, we speak about topics around membership, what we do as Rotarians, as well as Rotary in general. There are no members without action, and there is no action without members. Today we speak about communication. Have you ever struggled with how to present your club and Rotary in a way that resonates with people? Is your club active in social media? Is your communication on trend? Today we travel around the globe, all the way from Finland to Australia, just to find out why communication is important also to your club.
Hello and welcome to the Rotary podcast. My name is Jan Rauhala. I'm a property consultant, member of Pori-Telja Rotary Club, and interviewer today when we discuss about the communication of the Rotary organization. My interviewee is a person whose passion is people and their stories. He's a digital media creator, consultant, and storyteller. He comes from Australia and is an active Rotarian and a change maker. Welcome, Mr. Evan Burrell.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Great to have you in our podcast. How are you today?
I'm very well. This evening, anyway, it's talking to you at night time here in Australia. I'm doing quite well, wonderfully well.
So what are you up to these days? What kind of projects you have done lately?
The biggest project that's happening in my life at the moment is the arrival of my newborn son, who's only a week or so away from being born. So that's a big project. That's taking up a lot of time. I've relocated out of where I was living in Sydney, Australia, and moved about 2 hours north. And so finding my feet in a new area, which has prompted me also to seek out a new Rotary club in my area as well. So I haven't been sort of doing any Rotary projects or much with Rotary over the last 2 or 3 months anyway, but I'm looking forward to sort of sinking my teeth into some projects here in my new area. And I'm actually in the process of having discussions with the new district that I've moved to about a role there and some sort of communications and public image as well. So I'm kind of excited in making new friends in this Rotary district and in the area that I'm living in as well. So
as I said, you are a multi-talented person and professional in communications also. Tell us about your experience in communications, what you have been doing in the field of communication.
Yeah, look, I've been involved sort of in the communication space now for at least 20 years and very active on social media. And some of your listeners might follow me on social media. My Facebook page is Changemaker Evan Burrell. And certainly Rotary was the beginning of how I could sort of enhance my communication skills and reach out. And, you know, I've utilized that in my own career to develop acting. I do a lot of television commercials and acting in my own, private life and MC work and, website building and speaking to businesses about enhancing their ability to get on social media and all sorts of fun things like that. But Rotary really was quite a stepping stone into this area that I've now sort of found myself in. So I'm thankful for Rotary for that.
What do you think about the Rotary communications at the moment? Are there any challenges worldwide in Australia or at your club?
Look, I think what I found with Rotary, and particularly with the communications, that we always seem to be just that one little bit step behind with what trends and what things are happening currently. So particularly the slow embrace of social media that clubs took, Facebook's now, 15 years old or something? I think it was launched in 2007. And still today, clubs are still just on Facebook. So, yeah. To trying to communicate who we are and what we are as an organization to reach new audiences is always very difficult. And it's a little bit more difficult with Rotary because we're trying to tell so many different stories and trying to hope that one of these stories, sticks with someone and eventually turns them into a member. But my sort of philosophy has been to try and encourage Rotarians in clubs and districts and wherever to embrace the new forms of communication. So it's essentially social media. And it's heartening. My new club that I'm going to join, I've just recently joined TikTok, which is a new sort of a new social media channel. And it can be quite hard for Rotarians to, communicate what they want and what they are about, and then using the best platform to be able to communicate that. But ultimately, though, as with anything, communication is that it's what you're saying or what you're telling people is hopefully what they're going to be something that they're interested in. Mm-hmm. And I do find that with Rotary, that's a very difficult thing for us to capture because we are multifaceted across the world. We do so many different projects, so many different things. How are we able to appeal to people to get them to be involved in what we do, either by being members or donating to our causes or something like that. And so the key thing that I've found is that we're able to sort of communicate with one voice. Mm-hmm. Okay, it might have very languages and different interpretations, but we always try and stay on brand, so to speak.
Yeah. What do you think, what could be the core messages in Rotary organizations, or do they differ in all different places in the world? Should we tell about our projects more, or the people who are doing the projects, who are the members of Rotary organizations? What do you think?
That's a great question. I think we need to talk about the people. The people doing the projects, and then obviously from that, you then obviously talk a little bit about the project. But it's always important to put a name to a story, or, the story is about the person. So what they're doing in Rotary, what project that they're doing or they're involved in, which is changing other people's lives and in also changing their life as well. And it's these sorts of personal stories which makes people interested in our organisation and want to be a part of it. And however we're able to communicate that, in a sense, it's kind of like a product. The product is us, and how we need to do a bit of a better job in selling that. And we do that by making people interested in the stories that we have to tell. So I think it's important for us to talk about not only the project, but who's involved with the project and who it's helping, and how and what the impact that project is having, because that's what people are interested in. They're interested in seeing the impact, seeing someone get involved with that, and how they can get involved with that as well.
Yeah. How you would advise people who find it a little bit, difficult to create content, take photos and write some content? What would be the advice you give them?
Look, it's not easy, and I get it. It's not for everyone, but I really do strongly think that there's no harm in trying to copy what other people are doing or what other Rotary clubs are doing. It's not hard nowadays to sort of just, pick up your phone and take a couple of snaps and put that up on Facebook or something like that. You've really got to start somewhere. And if people are sort of apprehensive about that, then they're never going to, go the next step and turn that into reality. So there are a lot of Rotarians around the world who are good at these sorts of stuff. I know the content that I put out on my Facebook page gets seen and shared and used quite a lot. And I encourage people to follow my account as well as the Rotary International, social media accounts, and utilize that sort of information that's put out there to help them sell their story on their own club. But, it's not hard. One of the best tips I can always suggest to new clubs is take a photograph of one of their club members and do like a bit of a short interview. Take a photograph of one of them smiling and say, "Oh, hi, my name is Evan. I've been in this Rotary Club for so long. Hi, my name is John. I've been in this Rotary Club for so long, and this is my background, and this is why I'm involved in Rotary." And that sort of content you can then put up on Instagram or Facebook or whatever. It's putting a name to your club. It's also used your communication channels like social media to promote your events and promote your projects. Mm-hmm. It's not hard. You just have to take the first step and get started. But I also think reaching out to your district public image chairs or communication chairs is also important. Or the team, if you have those in your districts, maybe, ask assistant governors or district governors as well, seeing what they're up to. There's a lot of great information out there that can assist clubs. It just takes some time to sort of, look for it and see what they can use to help suit their purposes.
Yeah. You're talking a lot about the social media. You are an expert in that field. You talked about Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. What about LinkedIn?
I think LinkedIn is criminally underused for Rotary purposes because LinkedIn is very business orientated and business networking. Rotary is a great avenue to be able to link those contacts and people you make, and seeing whether or not, people that you're able to connect with on LinkedIn is able to turn that into involvement in Rotary. Now, I suggest if you've got a LinkedIn profile, put on your profile somewhere there that you're involved in a Rotary club. Perhaps share something about what your club is doing on a post on LinkedIn. And if you've got a large amount of connections on LinkedIn, someone could see that, and it might be the impetus that someone needs to get involved in that project or involved in your club. I think every avenue is a great avenue for us to be able to use to communicate Rotary, be it a static website or a magazine, podcast, or the various different social media channels. I think we need to be active on everything. And sure, it can be what we put out there can be a little bit different on each one, which is important. But ultimately, we need to be very active in our communication. It needs to be in front of people's faces all the time. Because we need to do a better job at selling the experience of Rotary, and we need to use all the tools available to us to do that.
Yeah. How do you see, is the social media the main channel in communications, Rotary communications, or are there others what you would recommend?
Look, nothing beats good old face-to-face chat, finding a potential club member, sitting down with them for a coffee, talking to them about Rotary, about their club, and if they've got some interest. And that's always a great first step. But for reach a larger audience, I think social media is certainly one of the best ways that we have available to us to be able to use. And essentially it is free. We can use advertising and stuff on that, but social media is extremely important. And I think, in 2022, every Rotary club should have a presence on social media somewhere. Even if it is just a Facebook page, it's important that they have that, because people who are interested in your club or interested in Rotary or whatever, they're going to be looking up your club on that website, or, it's the first thing they're going to do. And then from that, you can then nuance your communication skill and have these sorts of personal interactions or one-on-one conversations or something over coffee about your club or to a new member, and it goes from there. But the main thing is that these potential new members, they've got to see your club. They've got to see Rotary. And the best way to do that is put it on TikTok or Instagram or wherever.
Yeah. Okay, can you give 3 steps how to improve right away club's communications?
What I would do is, first thing is, take a look at your website and your social media presence. So if your website is looking old and outdated, has the old Rotary logo or incorrect information, or specifically the contact information, if that's out of date, clubs can fix that straight away. Next thing is look at your impact or your footprint, on social media. Is your club on Facebook? If it is on Facebook, how often is your club updating your Facebook page or Instagram profile? How many of your club members are in charge of that? Is it only just one person? Or is there 2 or 3 or 4 people who are able to access the account and update that? And then sort of the last tip is, every opportunity to talk about Rotary is a good opportunity. So if you're at each club meeting, talk about what's happening at the meeting. Take a photograph of your club members. Take a photograph of who came and spoke to your club. Take a photograph of the projects you're involved in, and put this stuff up on social media and get the word out there. And then for the last and fourth sort of final tip I would have is, reach out to those people who might be friends and family and acquaintances or work acquaintances, and talk to them about Rotary. Have a conversation with them and talk to them about the benefits of Rotary and what Rotary is doing in the world, and engage on how much interest the person you're talking to has it, and whether or not they'd like to be involved in helping change the world a bit. So there's some really easy things that Rotarians and clubs can do right away.
Thank you very much, Evan. Thank you for your advices and for your time. I wish you pleasant and unforgettable moments with your baby.
Thank you so much. I'll be learning a new style of communication, learning how to talk baby again. That'll be fun. Thank you so much too for the opportunity to be able to speak to you today, and hopefully whoever's listening to this podcast will get something of some sort of benefit out there, and we can all do a much better job in communicating Rotary. And again, this is just another avenue of being able to communicate our stories. And again, I thank you so much for having me along.
Thank you very much, Evan. Thank you.
Kuuntelit juuri Rotaripiirin 1410 Jäsenyyspodin 5. osan. Toivottavasti opit jotain uutta Rotaritoiminnasta ja toivottavasti hyppäät kyytiin myös ensi kerralla. Kaikki jaksot löydät osoitteesta rotari.fi/D1410.